Hi everyone, I'm Josh Wright, and welcome to this video series where together we will be exploring hymns from the new hymn book put out by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Today we will be focusing on the hymn, This Little Light of Mine. Before we get started with the music, I'm going to give you some rhythm lessons with this one, and we'll be having my daughter sing the 3 verses of this. She'll be joining me in a moment. But before we get into that, I wanted to give a little precursor to this. First of all, this is an old hymn, so even though it's included in the new hymn book put out by the church, this is from an African-American spiritual in the 19th century. The scriptures associated with this can be found, the first is found in Matthew chapter 5, verse 14 through 16, which reads, "Ye are the light of the world. A city that is set on an hill cannot be hid. Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but on a candlestick, and it giveth light unto all that are in the house. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven." There's one other scripture listed, which is Doctrine and Covenants, section 50, verse 24, which reads, "That which is of God is light, and he that receiveth light and continueth in God receiveth more light. And that light groweth brighter and brighter until the perfect day." All right, now turning to the music, we see a rhythmic indication up at the top where it has 2 eighth notes equals a triplet containing a quarter note followed by an eighth note. So rather than doing this, it's saying, we're going to be doing that swinging rhythm. So usually eighth notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and that's how you would count straight eighth notes. It's saying, we want you to swing it, but it would be a pain to go through and write out all those triplets, so they don't do that, and they just give you that rhythmic indication. So rather than this little light of mine, it's this little light of mine. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Let's keep going. And definitely a gospel song. 1-4-1 cadence called a plagal cadence at the end of that for you music nerds out there. All right, one other indication that I want to go over are these ties in the first measure of the piece. So you see, and then you see these notes, but you see those little bows, those little slurs underneath. Generally in music, slurs mean that you don't replay it if it goes from one note to the same note like that. However, the reason they give those indications is because of the words that go along with it. So in the first verse, as the accompanist or as the singer, you can obviously as the singer you're going to do this because you have to articulate the words, but this little light of mine. So I'm going to play all of them except the second to last G because the words go along with that. The reason I bring this up, it's very important because a lot of people who are not familiar with musical notation will go through and they'll say, this little light of mine, and they'll beat the accompanist to it, and then you're off. You're not lined up. So one more time on the first verse. This little light of mine. Okay, now let's take second verse. Everywhere I go. So that's a little different. Rather than this little, it's every. So it's just 2 notes there. So we will do the ties. So the ties are there for convenience to go along with whatever words are being sung. Let's look at the third verse. Jesus gave it to me. So we're going to play all 4 of those G's. Da, 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 dum, because it has gave it to me. So depending on the verse, make sure to articulate those notes. If you're the accompanist, and if you're the singer, which I'm guessing most of you are going to be the singers, not the accompanists, make sure that you articulate in the same rhythm that your accompanist is playing. So you don't want to have your accompanist be going, Jesus gave it to me, and have you sing, Jesus gave it to me, and be doing a more of a straight rhythm. So one more time through this, and then we'll bring my daughter in to sing through these verses with us. And have some fun if you are the accompanist. You don't always have to have it completely pedaled. All right, let's welcome my daughter, who will sing through these 3 verses and help you all get familiar with the lyrics of this beautiful hymn.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Jesus gave it to me.